Confucians are very much more socially oriented than sort of individualistic Western liberal culture. And in that vein, they think that there are 5 great relationships, they're called. These are relationships that really define an individual. This is kind of alien to us in the West, but in a Confucian society, you are sort of defined by the relationships you stand in, and these 5 are the 5 most important ones, and they're ordered by rank, right? So the first is the most important, the second is the next most important, and so on. And those relationships are father-son, but really that's sort of parent-child in general. Elder brother, younger brother, husband-wife, elder-younger, ruler-subject. So it's a list that's ordered by importance. And these relationships are not just a statement of some relationship. The relationship comes with concomitant duties, responsibilities, and privileges. So in the father-son relationship, for example, or the parent-child relationship, the parent has duties, specified duties to the child, and the child has specified duties to the parent, and special privileges that kind of go along with those duties. So the parent has to obviously nurture and educate the child, but the child owes the parent respect and homage and loyalty. And then in old age, the child takes care of the parent. And this relationship actually continues after death. The child is expected to respect or pay homage to the parent even after death. Elder brother, younger brother. I'm not going to walk through each of these. The husband-wife relationship is as distinctive, especially as compared to sort of egalitarian views of the husband-wife relation in Western culture. The husband was viewed as the kind of breadwinner and protector of the wife. This is kind of just a more traditional view in general. And the wife's duty was to be a homemaker and to be submissive to the husband. Elder younger is an interesting one too, because that's not just these first 3 you notice. What unifies the first 3? It's that these are biological family relationships. But starting with the 4th, we have a general social relationship, and same with the 5th. So elder younger can hold between 2 employees, one more senior, one more junior, can hold between a boss and employee, where the elder's duty is to sort of mentor the younger, and the younger is to kind of be in a position of respect towards the elder. And finally, ruler-subject, where the subject obviously is meant to be subject to the ruler, and the ruler-subject relationship can actually be viewed as kind of derivative of maybe even the parent-child relationship. So I want you to look at this list and the general features of this list and ask yourself a few questions. So one, what does it say about Confucians that they take relationships in general to be of such deep importance? That these relationships actually kind of define who you are, right? You're not defined by your weird little interests in some underground band. What defines you is your position as a son, as an elder brother, as a husband, as a mentor of so-and-so, as a subject to this ruler. That's what makes you who you are, right? And note that that's something you're going to share. This is sort of a universal list of relationships. So it's not, there is a little bit less personality here in play and less autonomy. You're not, that's, I guess the better way to put it is your autonomy plays less of a role in determining who you are, right? You don't choose to be a son of a parent. You don't choose to be the elder brother. In fact, you don't, in many cases, because of the nature of the parent-child relationship, you often don't choose to be the husband or wife of who you're the husband or wife of, because part of the duties of the parent are to, or at least traditionally have been, to help choose the spouse. And in elder, younger, and ruler, subject, there might be, especially in elder, younger, might be a little more aspect of choice, but not nearly as much. And I guess in sort of liberal Western cultures, tends to be, at least when we're younger, especially, tends to be a big emphasis on sort of your autonomy coming into play in determining your identity and who you are. And it's something that, kind of sets you off from everybody else, that you don't share with everybody else, that, you're into underwater basket weaving, or you're into this band, or you want to pursue this career or something like this. And these are all not only things that are pretty particular to you. You're going to share them with some people, but not with a whole lot of people. Or you certainly won't share all of them with a whole lot of people. But they're also things that we have a lot more choice in, right? Like you can kind of choose which bands you listen to, what hobbies you choose, what career you follow, etc. So the second question I want you to ask about this list is what it says about Confucianism, that the first three, which are the three most important, are all biological family related. And that especially that some of these other relationships are modeled off of those familial relationships. And one thing that it says is about Confucianism is this huge emphasis on the family. And Confucius and the Confucians, and especially one of Confucius's disciples, Mencius, thought that family was integral to the proper functioning of society, and that it's sort of like the building block, not only in terms of developing people and educating people, but being a model for the relationships within the family, being a model for other non-family social relationships. For example, the ruler-subject relationship here. Without the father-son relationship, you can't understand the ruler-subject relationship in Confucianism. And so the family is kind of the core foundational building block of society for Confucians. Okay, so these relationships define not only your duties, your responsibilities, your privileges, but they define who you are. And they're incredibly important. And especially familial relationships. Society would not function, probably wouldn't exist without those. So there are also, Confucius was big in talking about virtues that we should have. And here are just some of them. This is not all of them. And again, I want you to think about what strikes you about the commonalities of this list, or what you think is left off the list that is important. And I'm not going to try to pronounce Chinese names. I'm going to talk about these five in English. So benevolence is one, sort of like caring for other people. Another one is being able to use the proper words and actions in social life. Right? So what's proper to the situation, right? As according to, I guess, custom and propriety. Shu is an interesting one, not doing unto others as you would not like done to you. Right? So this is very similar to what we call the golden rule. I want you all to notice that this is different from some formulations of the golden rule. For example, the one in the New Testament, which says, do unto others as you would have done unto you. So this Confucian version is often called the silver rule for this reason. It's crucially different. It says, don't do to other people what you don't want done to you, right? So you could do this, you could follow this rule without following the golden rule. So you're going to not do to other people something that you wouldn't like done to you, but that still leaves open that you want stuff done to you that you're not going to do for other people. Just sort of trying to establish the kind of logical independence of those two principles. And finally, filial loyalty, or devotion to one's family, is important, obviously. And finally, this fifth one is really interesting to me, especially since it's not something I don't think most of us would put on our list of important moral virtues, or at least not the five most important ones. Knowledge and skill in the various aspects of arts, or cultural arts. Right? So you're not only expected to be like a connoisseur or knowledgeable about these things, but you're actually expected to have some amount of skill in them. Poetry, writing. Writing has turned out to be incredibly important for Confucianism. I'm not totally clear why, but I mean education is very important. So writing and calligraphy, especially the artistic aspect of that, has become very, very important within Confucianism. But what else strikes you about this list of virtues? Well, one thing that should strike you is the kind of social nature of these things. Right? They are all, a lot of them are oriented towards society, some towards family, and except for the last one, right? Knowledge and skill in various aspects of different arts. Although that might ultimately turn out to be socially oriented as well. Okay. You know what? I should stop the video just for the sake of breaking it up. I'll do that now.